For decades now, designers have been borrowing or stealing from African cultural heritage, depending on how you see it. But times are changing. Dior's presenting its Cruise 2020 collection at the El Badi Palace in Marrakesh. Now all the major labels opt for a cruise showing. Created in the 1920s for an affluent clientele who spent winters in the tropics, these collections sidestep the frenetic schedule of the fashion weeks. When a cruise line's successful, it can be a financial godsend, with a longer shelf life than the Pret-a-Porter collections. Dior's creative director, Grazia Chiuri, is neither paying tribute nor stealing in her cruise show, but displaying an utterly new perspective.
I started more than a collection, a conversation with my daughter many years ago about cultural appropriation, because she criticized a lot what we did in the fashion in the past, because she said to me that we didn't understood the value of the other country, and also that sometime in the past we used this reference in the wrong way.
That's when Grazia discovered an anthropological book that was to inform her point of view, the Anthology of African Printed Fabrics.
This fabric wasn't originally African, but it would eventually become a strong element of African culture. It also represents women's voices because, in a way, it's a platform for non-verbal communication. And it's also a way for women to make money and demonstrate that they are great entrepreneurs. They're skilled businesswomen. It's also a way to express your Africanness. Wearing wax print fabrics are a way to feel beautiful in a non-European style.
The creative director then became a keen disciple of the anthropologist.
For Grazia, it wasn't about working with European wax print fabrics. What was really important was to be working with African cloth, made in Africa. So that's a very high quality product, which is completely produced in Africa. The cotton is grown, treated, spun, woven and printed in West Africa. So it's really about highlighting the craftsmanship, the technology and the manufacturing capacities you can find in Africa. Even so, this is not a collection that's trying to look African. It's simply an African collection.
Grazia took her team to Abidjan, Ivory Coast, so they could meet the designers from the Uniwax company, inviting them to create new interpretations of the toile de Jouy and tarot card patterned fabrics so typical at Dior.
I tried with this project because I don't think it's a collection, it's really a project, it's a team project, to work in this argument that is so difficult and to show like really craftsmanship traveling around the world. For the wax that I used a lot in the collection is a technique that moved to Asia, to Europe and arrived in Africa. But it's a technique, it's a special technique, also haute couture technique for print cotton. But the stereotypic idea about wax, also because it's a cotton, is that is not something haute couture.
Abidjan is also where Grazia met the stylist Pathé'O. His shirts became famous the world over after being adopted by Nelson Mandela when he left prison in 1990.
There's talent here, there's know-how, there's experience. There are a lot of possibilities, a lot of things that have not been exploited. But then Africans say it's not for them. Those Africans who have the means, they prefer to go and get their clothes elsewhere. That really is the major problem. The day that they understand that fashion has a part to play in development, in tomorrow's industries and jobs, and also in our culture. Culturally, we have to be ourselves. We don't have to look like someone else that doesn't feel comfortable. And the problem is that Africans aren't comfortable unless they're looking like other people. That's the real issue we've got to overcome at the moment.
The Ivorian designer worked hand in hand with Grazia to come up with a style that recreated the speckling technique that the Pathé'O brand is known for, a shirt that pays tribute to the first black president of South Africa.
It's written down, Homage to Nelson Mandela by Pathé'O. It's about presenting an image of Mandela in a way, because he gave us his image when he agreed to wear our designs. So that's something that really made us happy.
Highlighting skills and know-how, Maria Grazia also teamed up with Sumano, an association of female artisans in Morocco's Atlas Mountains, with the aim of creating a sustainable production line so they can support their families.
We live a moment where everybody speaks about the difference. Nobody speaks about what we have in common ground. It's completely to respect each other. I think it's a completely different approach. But it's not only about fashion, it's about many other arguments. Sometimes we go so fast, we don't have enough time for reflect. It's good to stop to speak about these things.
Intelligence, curiosity and no shortage of empathy, Maria Grazia Chiuri's ushered in a new cultural, social and economic dimension to the world of fashion.
The world is ever-changing. The news doesn't wait. That's why at France 24, we'll always be there to help make sense of world events. For the best international coverage, 24 hours a day, no matter what. France 24, with you everywhere, all the time.